What's up, guys? What's up? How's everyone doing? So, I wanted to do a little bit of a channel update and, just talk to you guys a little bit about, what I'm thinking moving into December. And also, just the update on, what's going on right now. So, let's well also we're gonna do a little story time too. I want to do a little campfire story with you, just to uh well, just to start a new segment on the channel and stuff, and also just to talk a little bit before we maybe get anybody in here. So uh aside from what's coming in December, just for right now, the I need to finish what I'm working on as far as getting this all set up, and I need a little bit of time to get things more organized, and there may be a little bit of a pause to some of the streaming for the next few days. Um, Also heading closer to my birthday very soon, so just I'm not gonna say obviously when that is, but um, it's very soon. So um, there's a friend of mine that wants to do something, and so I'm gonna obviously do that with him, and anybody else that wants to do things too. So this is gonna be the sort of thing where the next week or so, it's gonna be kind of weird when I get on stream. It'll be a little less consistent than that sort of normally is. Um, but that's just because like I said, it's we're getting close to my birthday and stuff like that. So, story time. Story time, and then we'll talk about like content and stuff. So, your campfire story for the day. When I was younger. Oh, hey, 365. Story time. Yeah. When I was younger, I used to go backpacking a lot, and I don't know if you know what backpacking is. It's you go into the woods, you take everything on your back, you survive for a few days or a week. It's just you and the woods. There's nothing out there. You can't plug anything in. You can't. It's not like you can get to a town or any. There's nothing. It's just woods. You just go out in the woods and that's it. You have to survive, and then you have to make it back to. You have to sort of do a circle. Kind of. You have to plan a trip basically. So that's how it would work. 365. You've been sick. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that, man. I have been too. Um, I feel like people around me didn't believe me, and I wear my sickness well. I gotta be honest, I do. I try not to show the symptoms, because a good positive attitude is good for being well. So I try to have a good positive attitude about it. But yeah, I've been sick too, man. My stomach's still a little. Anyway, yeah, it's very similar to that, but I used to just go for fun. My dad used to take. I would go with my dad, and sometimes I'd bring like some friends along. My cousins would come along, so every once in a while. So anyway, this one time, my friend Bob, and if he's watching, cheers, Bob, because I'm sure you remember this. My friend Bob, he came along with us, and we were young, but he was new to the experience, and he didn't understand that you shouldn't. There are reasons why you don't wander off the marked trail, because it's just mountains and woods, and you would get lost. So, so he was full of energy and just kept wanting to walk ahead and just see the next thing and the next thing. He's just fascinated, I guess, by the woods, and that's great. But I wanted to stay with him because I recognized the danger in letting him wander off when he didn't know where he was going. And even though I was a kid, I still sort of had really good sense of direction and survivability, and kind of just knew what to do. So basically he scurried ahead and wanted to he was like, oh, what's that? What's beyond there? And I was like, Bob, come on, Bob, we have to follow the trail. And so basically he wanted to go and veer off this one spot that looked like there was a trail, but there was no markings. And so you can't do that. So of course, lo and behold, we ended up lost because he wanted to follow this trail, and I didn't want him to go by himself. So it's now probably about 45 minutes to an hour later, and we're kids, so he's starting to cry a little bit. And he's like, no, you warned me, I feel bad. And he felt bad and realized right away what he did. But anyway, so what I did was like, it's not that big a deal. We just have to wait, listen, if you just keep walking. And every once in a while, just stop and use your ears. Listen for a car. And sometimes it takes a long time because cars don't drive by those roads, and those roads are very scarce, and you're in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of the woods, and even when you get to a road, it's just a road. No cars, no towns. So yeah, we eventually, it worked, and eventually came to a road. I heard cars. Well, actually what I heard was a stream. And, basically, 1 plus 2 equals 3. Even as a kid, I understood streams flowed down. So I just simply went toward the water, and the water led me to the side of a road. Basically close to the side of a road. I found the road because of the water. So anyway, we got to the road, and it's pretty close to night at this point. And, obviously at this point, my dad's probably extremely concerned. He's probably looking all over the place, all over the woods, he's probably like freaking out. Cell phones weren't even really a thing. This was like so long ago. We're talking like early 90s. So cell phones weren't even a thing. Yeah, you're probably talking like 92, 93, 94, something like that. So, no, it's not like, if we came across a car, someone would have a cell phone or anything like that. So we walked to a road, and then it's just sort of getting dark. And we're just walking along this road, like, lost, wondering where to go. And eventually we come to this, like, parking lot that looks like there's, like, oh, there's people here. Finally, we think we're like, oh, man, we're saved. Here it comes. So we walk into this parking lot, and we start to see these things that look like Native American tents. And we're very confused. We're like, what on earth? And as kids, we actually sort of try to rationalize, well, maybe this is a settlement, or like, we're just kids, we have no idea. But then, like, we see a car pull out, and this little thing opens up. I'm just like, what on earth? So we just start walking in, just right in the front, And the guy, luckily, there's this guy pulling out as we do, because he rolls down his window and he's like, "Wait a minute, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you guys doing? Where are you coming from? What are you doing here?" And we're like, "We're lost." Like, we were backpacking. He was like, "Okay, I thought so. You have like a little," because I didn't have a full pack on. We had little fanny packs, and I think my dad was carrying like a lot of our weight. But we were carrying a lot of the snacks and stuff. And he was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna pull around." He pulled around, got out. Here, so this guy took us into this building, right? And called the police to, come and help us find our dad and everything. And here we were walking into a juvenile detention center. Yep, we were walking right in the front door to a juvenile detention center in the middle of nowhere. And thank God this guy was driving out of there right as we were walking in. Oh, it could have gone so differently. So anyway, they called, and even the police came and were laughing so hard because they were like, "Look, when we get calls about coming to juvie, it's normally something else. We don't mind this. This is fine." So yeah, like, it really wasn't a big deal to them too. They were like, "This is fine. We'll figure it out." And yeah, we drove around for a while, sat in the cop cars, drove around, looked for. We found my dad just like sort of walking alongside the road, kind of like looking for evidence of like maybe tracks or something. And so yeah, we ended up shortening the trip and kind of botching the plans, but it was definitely a educational trip. And yeah, I learned a lot about, basically the idea is no matter what happens in life, you don't let a friend wander off into something he doesn't know anything about. That's the life lesson that I learned from that, is if you know better, don't let your friend wander off into the nothingness. Go in there with them. Just walk into the darkness with them. I mean, if he's your friend, he's your friend, right? So yeah, like that was the even as a kid I knew that sort of thing, but it definitely it's just really good luck that we ran into the guy we did, and everything happened the way it did and all that. But yeah, so there's your little campfire story for the day. And that one's pretty good. I'm gonna have to try to think next time how I'm gonna top that one. That one's pretty good. Yeah, my friend Bob, who I still talk to. Yes. Anyway. So as far as content, like I said earlier, guys, as far as channel updates, yeah, I have to get organized at the finish, like bringing stuff in here and doing all this. And so, like, maybe the next few days, and my birthday is very soon. And obviously I don't want to say when that is, but it's very soon. And so I'm doing stuff with Bob, and I'm doing probably something with other people. I'm not sure yet. So I just got to figure that out. And also I'm reorganizing this too, and I'm gonna try to finish this up as soon as I can, so that way I can get. I'm trying to get more organized and get something down for like a schedule, if that makes sense. More of a regular thing. Thanks, Night Force Gaming. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah. So, if I get organized, it'll be so much easier to say, all right, here's the schedule. Because like now that like we've learned all the stuff we need to learn about taking care of how to take care of certain situations. We'll phrase it that way. Now it comes down to or being organized. So now I'm working on that. Now now that I'm like just doing my own thing here, and I'm trying to get this all up and running and organized in a certain way, so that way I can get up at a certain time and start doing certain things at a certain time. If I need to get up and start doing my uploads for this and that, I can do that instead of I got to get up and you worry about this, cleaning something or doing something else instead of working on YouTube. If that makes sense, I'm not doing as much all of the time because now I'm going to take that time now to get organized and just, move forward with that. So as far as channel updates, Hogwarts Legacy is something obviously I need to finish. I want to finish. We're going to work on that. I keep finding these new games sitting in my Steam library that I that I start playing live, and I'm like, wow, why didn't I play this before? That it's like totally chill to do for like a relaxed stream or something. And so like we played Euro Truck Simulator 2 the other night. And legit, that was so much fun. I actually had a good time playing the Euro Truck Simulator 2, especially after I figured out how to get the controller to work. So that was good times. I mean, it's just relaxing. That's really all it is. It is a challenge, for sure. But once you have a controller, it's just really fun, relaxing. So that might be something I'll look into, possibly doing later. Once we get some of the important stuff done. Also, just more of a relaxed, stream for that one. I noticed you guys seem to enjoy Northgard too. I'm trying to figure out, like, all right. So what I also wanted to talk about the updates is Thanks, man. uh, I agree. I'll just sit here and I'll just be like, yeah, that is relaxed. This is another thing I want to do, where we do like campfire stories. I love just relaxing and meditation, and I know a lot about it actually. It's focus meditation, stuff like that, and nature sounds especially, but just white noise in general and ambient sounds and stuff can be really relaxing to a lot of people, especially those who enjoy gaming. So like that's why I like to do the relaxing streams and stuff. Like there's a lot of games that have specific sounds in them and music, I think, that can be really relaxing, and that kind of leads me to what I was saying about Northgard. Is I think that a lot of people do find these types of games relaxing. It just depends on, I think, a lot of variables. Sometimes games tend to have like a million volume sliders, so it'll be really relaxing, and then I'll suddenly get into combat, and there's guys with axes, going raw, tra, craw, like a Michael Bay film or something, So I just I want to understand, like why, for example, like some of the streams, like it seems like they'll get closer to like maybe 100 views or something like that, but then they'll get the same amount of likes as maybe something that gets like 300 or 400 views. And I'm just like trying to figure out, like, all right, so like what is it that like gets the 400 versus the 100 that you guys like so much more? Is it the building aspect? Like for example, like with like SimCity, where I'm just sitting there building a city or something like that, or like is it like what is it about that? Because I feel like maybe that is it. I'm actually like like putting my own creative input in there when I'm building a city and stuff. The fire's top notch. It's do you guys want it? You do you like my ducks? Ducks on you. Um I will share the it's just you guys can find that type of stuff all over YouTube. I'll share this particular one if you want, but like flat out like you can find like I think this one's like a 10-hour video of just like a campfire. Or well, it's just a fireplace. It's not really a campfire. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I love yeah, I love the ducks too. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just trying to figure out what that is and, like duplicate that for you guys. I honestly want to get to back when I, like talk about a new normal and stuff like that. And I talked about that before. Part of what I meant about that is, just getting back to a relaxing, organized state where we can put out good, relaxing content, but then also sometimes very constructive, informative content about certain games, I do feel like I have a lot of creative, valuable input to offer, especially like, like when we're playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm probably one like I do see a lot of people streaming it and playing it, but I see a lot of people streaming it and playing it on like, 365 is texting me. I see a lot of people streaming it and playing it on like PS4 and stuff. And on like PS5 and stuff. So like I feel like I'm one of those like only PC streamers and stuff actively playing it right now at least. I know that there are some people that have. I'm not saying there's not. But like I do feel like there's times where like I have a lot more to say about certain things that could be very valuable to developers, and stuff if they would actually watch. So I think that that's actually a really good point, and that's what I want to get back to is just being valuable to the people that actually make the games. That's actually what I care most about. I actually care most about just trying to communicate with them and give them thoughtful, actual, like, provoking things. Because a lot of times I end up, when I report things, I talk to, like, a middleman that tries to communicate, and they really don't understand the technical side of things. And so, like, I'm trying to... I try to, like, phrase it a certain way to like... And it really just gets lost in translation. So that's actually a lot of why... I decided to go with gaming too is because I discovered in the past that like when I would type up these long tickets and stuff like that, it didn't really matter. They didn't really care. It was just lost in translation. They would just be like, wow, yeah, too long, didn't read, sort of thing. Because like a lot of times their responses were just the same generic crap that I'd always get, and it's like, well, if you read this one statement way further up, you'd realize I tried this already. So a lot of times they weren't even really reading it, and I still kind of get that. So like, that's why a lot of times why I like like have the voice that I do with games, because it is really hard to, I think, to get across to developers what's happening circumstantially for you, and then get across to them that like it is definitively you did it's not like some sort of video driver update, it's not this or that. There's so many variables, and it is really hard for them to legitimately trust each individual streamer, that they know what they're doing and stuff like that, and they have that knowledge. And I think it's kind of obvious at this point that I do. So, that's where we want to get back to that new normal of making that stuff. I just wanted it to be more obvious. For the longest time, I wanted, like my PC, right, so that people could see it. So it was just very obvious I build my own PC. So you don't even have to ask the question, and stuff like that. Just you see it. It's like, well, yeah, that's custom. It's obvious. So... yeah, we got to get to that too. Uh, moving forward, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, we want to finish that. And you know, like using that as an example, there's so many times where I love playing Hogwarts Legacy, but then just because of like one little tiny basic thing, I'm taken out of the element for like an entire hour where I'm just like wandering around. Oh, it's that I didn't left click this one thing and instead I went through all my other spells trying them instead of just left clicking. Oh my gosh. And the game could have just told me that. So I don't know, I just feel like that's a little bit of an oversight there. That's not that big a deal. You know, and I don't want to make it a big deal. I want to, you know, have this voice and give these notes because I think that these are very valuable notes and valuable information where it's like, well, yeah, maybe that should have been there. It's kind of like the one puzzle on the bridge outside with all the little the fire goblets. You guys remember the last time I came across that? I was like, I did this, didn't I? I swear I did this. And then I did it with you guys again. And I found out I did it. So I did the puzzle a second time just to find out I opened the chest already. Just because they don't want to keep the goblets lit so that you can walk past it and re-enter. So it's like, I feel like that's a pretty valuable piece of information. And how often do I play Hitman 3 and talk about stuff that, like, has existed in the game that's been a problem since the game's been released? For example, you know, like if there's a guard standing in front of a box, and it's just a one-level box. We're not talking about two boxes. We're talking about a one-level box. Playing on PS5, I've seen plenty of people, you know, like in, like, videos and stuff, they walk up. Specifically, I've seen a streamer walk up, grab the guy, you know, he gets the option to grab from behind and pull behind the box. I've literally never had that option. It just doesn't exist for me. Because, like, I've been following the video, and I'll get to that point and just don't have the option. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's exactly my point. Is I feel like I do have a lot that I can add and say to that stuff, and I've been saying that since the beginning. Liam said in chat the other day, and he's been following the channel since forever. He's a huge Hitman fan. Thanks, Liam. You're awesome too. You're a absolute supporter of the channel. I appreciate you. He's been saying since forever that some of his items in Freelancer literally are glitched and you can't pick them up and stuff like that. Now this they finally fixed for me. I haven't had that issue in a while, but Liam's been saying in chat like so long. and it's like, so if like these developers would actually watch my channel and support me, they'd find these things out about how like fans are actually sitting there. Oh, thanks. Thank you. And how fans are actually sitting there and typing in chat, no, this is wrong, the game, there's something wrong with the game, please fix it, you know, like the thing's not working in the Freelancer safe house and stuff like that. And so it's like, lo and behold, you know, this whole time it's just, you know, a matter of having that voice and you know, getting to an organized point where, you know, like I just want to have that voice and to, you know, like be that other guy that you can watch where you can really trust, you know, that I've really thought about what I said, you know, that like I thought about all these things, I have the knowledge. No way, it's not this setting because I tried that. No, it's not VSync because it's a scaling issue that happens because of the stupid yellow borders that XSplit keeps putting around my stupid screen, and I keep telling them about 8 million times. Yeah, like that was an issue too, because Windows puts the stupid yellow capture borders. Everybody knows about them. Everybody hates them, and then they got rid of them really quick. XSplit just keeps adding them back in, and it's causing a problem. And it causes immense scaling issues all the time. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much for reacting. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I moving forward with the channel content. You know, I want to definitely have. I want to get through, like I said, Hogwarts Legacy. We definitely started playing. I love that game. That game is magic, and there's so many magical things. Like you'll start playing the game, and genuinely just be surprised. Like, oh, what's that? I want to follow this. Oh, it's a flying key. Let me follow this, you know? And then like 2 hours later, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I was working on this quest, wasn't I? It's so good. That's how you know. Honestly, a lot of times for me, that's a 10 out of 10. When you have a game like that where it's so good, even the side content brings you here and here and here. The only reason it doesn't arrive at a 10 is just because of how it was received at first. You know, just initially at launch, and then like like all the other performance issues we've had where they had to sort of fix them. Now it's running pretty good, but it's gotten to the point where I love the game and I don't care about here. The performance issues are going to happen. They're going to need to fix things. The whole point is just to talk about it. And I've always been that guy where I literally just will always tell you, thanks. Thank you so much. Hair's on point, thank you. I'll always be that guy. That tells you, I really think it's this. Just like Cookie pointed out that they finally added DLSS to Starfield. I love that. I love hearing that. They added the field of view slider, and it helped a lot, but we were sitting there dragging it all over the place trying to get it to be just right. I'm sure with DLSS and the field of view slider at about 110. About 110 for 1440. That's probably what you guys want. For just so you guys know, for 1440 for DLSS, usually you're going to want that setting around the quality setting if you're at 1440. There's certain settings for actual resolutions. You're going to want to look that up. That's why I always set it at quality. I just default to quality because 1440, that's what you're supposed to be at. Usually ultra quality or super quality or whatever that is like 4K and up and 8K and stuff. So that's why I usually just default to that. But I appreciate him saying that because, like, now I know, well, great, once I can go back to that, that'll be awesome. I just, I don't have Game Pass. Everything ran out. I don't have money. And while I bought the digital deluxe of Starfield when it came out, as you guys know, I bought the discounted, like, it was basically $38 for me to buy the game and have the digital deluxe because I didn't actually buy the game. I bought the Game Pass version. So if you have Game Pass, you can play the deluxe. That's how it works. Your T drive instead of your C drive, does that impact performance? That's a very convoluted question. So is your D drive set up on a RAID? Yes. Yes. We'll just say in this century, yes. These days, you're gonna typically, if you're running Windows these days, you're gonna want most games on your main drive, and it should probably be solid state these days if you want it to be, if you want that frame rate to be good. So your operating system, whatever drive that's on, is your C drive usually. Unless somebody renamed it, that would be really weird. Your D drive is usually that's a CD drive, but sometimes it's a weird letter like D. Usually these days, because Windows is so poorly coded, it literally needs the solid state, how fast those solid state drives are. So because the OS is on that solid state, your games and everything else need to be on that solid state too. Otherwise, while communicating with the other drives, it really bottlenecks and slows things down. So if your game's installed on another drive, it has to access that drive while you're running the game. So basically, if it's a drive that does this and spins around, it has to start spinning the drive, and it's going to take a few seconds, and sometimes if you're running a game, that will crash the game. Yeah, so that's why solid state is taking over. It's also why I had issues for the longest time playing games. Basically, at a certain point, Windows just stopped support for mechanical drives, where just everything needs to be solid state now, and just didn't say anything. Sort of just like they did with everything else, every other technology that comes out throughout the history. It's just the fact that the big guy up top says no, so therefore everybody else has to follow suit, if that makes sense. It's sort of like when they push 5G and you just don't have a choice. You know, like, or they push Blu-ray and you just don't have a choice, or you know, like whatever the technology is. That's literally what this is. It, you know, it's fallen behind on the totem pole, so therefore anybody with a mechanical drive now must upgrade, or you just can't play your games, basically. I think that was a lot of the issue with Hitman, too, where they were just trying to say that they weren't doing that, but they really were. Yeah, whereas basically just couldn't play the game anymore. But yeah, I got the solid state a while back. The funny thing is, I don't think people realized I actually couple of years ago, I actually got a new video card too. I even made a video for it and everything on the channel, and talked about how much of a big leap that was too, because I actually skipped the whole generation of cards, going from I think it was a GTX 1060. It was a GTX 1060 to an RTX 3060. That's a big difference. And yeah, I even did like a video comparison of actually in Forza, of all games. And then I did that comparison intentionally while driving on the Hot Wheels tracks with lots of reflections and stuff on the track, so that way people could see frame rate looking at reflections, and then compare the two, and then notice that the basically the point is to notice ray tracing is the future. And this is why we want everything to be instant, because ray tracing is so intensive. Basically, what that is, when you hear about ray tracing, what that is your card, your video card, can now, not only is it rendering shadows, but now, you know, like when like artists started discovering that like tracing lines over things makes it look nice and bold and vivid and really cool. So your video card's just doing that now, basically. That's what ray tracing is. It's drawing extra shadows over other shadows to make them look really bold, vivid. That's why it's like really intensive, because shadows already are intensive. So people are turning ray tracing on and just turning it all the way up and expecting it to work, and it's like, your card's probably already doing that on the hardware level, and you're just turning it all the way up and expecting it to just trace shadow upon shadow upon shadow. It's like it's gonna crash. So that's what ray tracing is, and it is the future. It's really awesome. I really like how ray tracing looks, but it's very, very intensive. Yeah, Starfield's probably a no-go unless you can install it on that main drive and run it well. I mean, you could turn the settings down, but it's probably not going to matter. It's the sort of thing where like these days that doesn't seem to really matter. If you can run it, you can run it. If you can't, you can't. Starfield, I mean, a lot of times you're probably just better off getting an Xbox. Starfield actually runs really, really well on my Series X. But I don't like it with a controller. I gotta be honest. It is just a really clunky game with a controller. And I think that's why it... Honestly, like, because a lot of the people that are going to be playing this game are serious PC gamers or serious console players. I really feel like that. You're just a serious gamer. And so, like, it just looks really kind of in their eyes because it's clunky. You know, like the menu's hard to use, and every time I'm using it, I gotta remember the name of the star system. I really wish the devs would have done that already. How hard is it to just put labels on half the stars or half the systems aren't labeled. So if you want to go back to a system, you have to remember it. Like, why would I want to just put the name of the star system? Blah! Bad. Doesn't make any sense. There's so many things. And so, yeah, like, on console, I'm sitting there trying to play, and it's like 8 million buttons later. I've probably arrived at the correct menu, maybe, while taking probably an accidental consumable or something like that, you know. On PC, I don't do that. But then on PC, it's all performance issues like crazy because of the whole NVIDIA versus AMD situation right now. Everybody knows that. Yeah, everybody knows it's... basically, NVIDIA... AMD is fully aware that NVIDIA has the best looking graphics and the best looking tech, and PlayStation's aware of this too. So, like, this is like a real problem for AMD. Now, I love AMD and everything, but I got to admit that, like, I don't like what they've been doing with that sort of thing, and I think Intel doesn't help things. Because they want to jump all over the fact that NVIDIA is better. So they want to partner up, and then of course then AMD wants to partner up with ATI, and it's literally just back and forth, blah 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 of you know, just let's compete instead of no, let's all communicate so all the games can work and we can all benefit. I miss the old days of that happening. Do you remember that? Do you remember, like, back in the old days when they would actually communicate and things would get updated and we could have a really good game on all the consoles? Do you remember that? Do you remember back in, like, the PS2 days and the 360 days and back when console was good and PC was still ahead, and you could still brag about having an awesome rig because, you know, you could destroy graphics. Now it's like, no, if you have an NVIDIA card but you don't have an Intel CPU, you better make sure the game that you're playing has DLSS, otherwise latency haven, FPS loss like crazy, just can't, it just doesn't understand the textures properly, it just doesn't do it just doesn't do it right. So, like, you know, like, it's a matter of the companies communicating with each other to get the proper files, and it's literally just that. Yeah, we're talking about that. We're just talking about companies that just don't want to communicate just because of, like, you know, competitorship and stuff like that. Meanwhile we could be playing Starfield, you know, just fine if they would have done that sooner. Oh man. You know what's crazy though? That's my point, is like, how did they test that game on console as much as they did and decide that, like, the menu wasn't that, you know, was good? That's what I want to know. Like, I'm actually wondering truthfully, like, how could they have? Because even just from my standpoint, even just when I'm standing in front of my TV, holding my controller, using the Xbox, just the menu with the big circle, my guy's like standing there, it looks really cool. But then when I start looking at where the buttons are and realizing how I have to navigate this thing, immediately as a gamer and somebody that's played these games for years, immediately I recognize at least 2 or 3 problems wrong with it. So I have to wonder how on earth these devs and all these testers and all these people they paid all these money to didn't see these things. It's just, it blows my mind sometimes. So I really legitimately feel like I have a voice here for a lot of stuff. and just need to get organized and take the time to do that. Thanks for bringing up Starfield, by the way. Sometimes I forget about that because I don't have Game Pass anymore, and I forget. Yeah, for sure, it's over. It's over. I hope that he realizes I wasn't trolling him and I was honestly apologizing to him. Yeah, I hope he knows that. Did not did not mean that in any way except to just legitimately apologize. And I didn't bring it up after that too, except just now to confirm. I hope he realizes that because yeah, like it wasn't to get noticed and it wasn't to like bring anything to the spotlight or anything like that. It just wanted to apologize and for him to realize I did. Hopefully he saw it. That's all I care about. Because I don't want him to feel that matters to me. If he feels a certain way about like that matters. That's what I don't want. Like if he wants to do his channel as an act and act like that, that's okay. I didn't realize it was sort of like an act. And good on you, 365 too, for showing what a good person he actually is too. Anyway, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm trying to get past that. That's like so present in my mind. We gotta finish. Like I started building this house in The Sims, and I just never finished it. That's the sort of thing where like the reason I haven't is because like I want to get on the stream and know that I have X amount of time to actually finish the house for once and then start playing it with you guys. Some of those houses I will sit there and like put so much thought into and like just like no, this doesn't look right, and yeah, just like fixing it this or that way, and then realize that I've been sitting on the stream with you for like 8 hours. So I just I want to make sure that there's enough time to actually finish it and then not carry it into like a third stream or something like that. That's why. There's a few other things I've been doing this with, and that's another reason why I haven't gone back to them yet. Last Epoch, I have to be careful with because it's coming out soon. I wanted to legitimately surprise you with the progress that I've been working on, and that's the point. Is that some of the stuff I need to do also moving forward behind the scenes, that's coming out full blown soon, and I have to be careful because I think when that comes out, I'm gonna lose all self-control and play that game like nonstop. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to justify it, right? No, that game is I love Diablo 3, and it's so much Diablo 3, so that's why like I'm just really looking forward to Oh, hey, what's up? Good to see you. I don't know how to say your name. Fove? Is that how I say it? So yeah, I just want to make sure that I do eventually do that before we get to release. I want to at least get on stream with you with Last Epoch before release, and that is coming soon. I think Last Epoch's coming in January, right? Something like that. February. Towards the end of January, I feel like. But, okay, so yeah, that's the big one, is Last Epoch, and then Hogwarts Legacy. What I'm wondering about is, so with these, like I said, guys, I want to know like what it is about like these relaxed streams, like which ones you guys like I said, some of them are like 100 views and some of them are like 400 views. So like what's quadrupling the views, and then the reason I ask this is because once again we're getting the same like ratio on both. So that's the reason I ask, is we're not getting comments, we're not getting like ratio to match the views. So I'm just reaching out and just trying to figure out, like what it is that you guys like about that, or maybe if you guys are sharing that, just let me know. Shared this, like leave a comment, shared this. That way I know like how that's happening, and I can just know that, just for my knowledge. Um, but I had a good time. I got really tired. I gotta admit, I was really tired last night. But that was me basically. All right, so last night I was playing like Northgard. I was grinding the crap out of Northgard, and I was discovering, like rediscovering the fact that a lot of those clans are really unbalanced. But it's kind of for a reason, either to throw you off, to sort of be like very different from one to the other. And yeah, I really didn't like the Snake Clan very much, and I have certain ones that I like. And so I wanted to grind that out until I got a win. I got so tired. And I was like, I'm not going to win this. So I quit, and I went back, and I was like, I'm going to choose the one I know I'm going to win. And then I won it pretty quick. But basically, what did it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit, because I think this is what's throwing people off a little bit. It's not so much that I play better when I'm not in front of a camera, because I know that's the case for a lot of people. That actually didn't take me too long to get over, because I've actually done martial arts publicly. There's nothing like, trust me, there's nothing like doing martial arts publicly and worrying about falling on your behind. Yeah, there's nothing like that. And like on a stage with hundreds of people, maybe thousands in front of you, and then just sitting in front of a camera, and like the really like the difference is just no comparison. So like it really didn't take me long to get over that whole like playing a game in front of somebody thing. What I've noticed is that I have this need to be entertaining, and I know that like that's the streamer sort of in me. Sometimes with certain games, I need to realize I should shut up and play, because that was what was happening. The whole time I was playing, I was starting to talk. And the moment I was starting to talk, I was completely losing focus on what I was doing, talking about the game. It's literally what would happen. And just like, I would get attacked, and I'm just like, oh crap, that's right, I'm playing a game, I'm not talking. RTSs are difficult, and that one especially. You can't sit there and just like it. You better be really, really, really good if you're sitting there doing that, and that's fine. Some people are. I could do that probably with Civ 6, especially because it's turn-based. But like, I'm not gonna do that with that game, and that's why I basically just even though you could tell I was tired as heck, I didn't take the camera off. I took the mic off. And that was why I wanted to just like, I need to sit here in front of the camera and, prove to myself, too, that I can do this. But really, it's just that I need to shut up. And so, yeah, as soon as I took that mic off, flipped it to the side, forced myself to shut up. That was why I did that, guys. I flipped the mic to the side because I needed to force myself to shut up. I was talking, I kept doing it. And I said I was going to shut up, and then I kept doing it, and I had to shut it off, flip it to the side, and it worked. Now, it may not have worked right away, because I was like, nope, this is botched, but then you realize that my focus was there. It was the sort of thing where I realized pretty quickly, this one's botched. Let's start again with a better clan that I know. And then I did, and then it was just like instant focus, and I got through it, and we got a win at the end. So with Northgard, it's very, very tough game. The crazy thing is, one little hiccup can just botch an entire run. And a lot of it has to do with those, those events and stuff like that. So I think for like the easy mode, if you want to call it easy, I just feel like maybe balancing could use a little bit of work if they would want to care to look into that a bit. It's just my opinion. I think a lot of people like the game to feel that difficult in the easy mode. I'm not really sure why. Because there's other modes. It's like 3 other difficulty modes. So I'm not really sure why. But that's just my opinion. If it's easy, it should be easy. In my opinion, when I'm sitting there for 6.5, 7 hours, and I've played this quite a number of hours before, and yeah, I'm just like getting overrun and getting attacked and can't come back, and like little tiny things like some unhappiness here and there just downward spirals me into nothingness and I lose the game. It's not easy. So, Northgard does not have an easy setting. And this is something that, like, is not easy for a streamer to talk about, because a lot of times streamers get sort of judged, if you will, for, like, oh, he just wants to play easy games, or he just likes to play easy games, he just wants to sit on his ass and play something easy or something like that. And that's the point, is, like, you have to have some balls to admit and recognize what easy is. Now, that's the truth of the fact is, I do play difficult games. So that's the point, is while I can recognize what easy is supposed to be, I can also recognize what difficult's supposed to be too, and I can have that voice to you guys. And I think that's definitely something that I want to do. I need to, definitely have that voice and share that with you all the time. Is just that, and I want to do that, more of that moving forward, is talk more about the fact that I think, this mode should be easier, or maybe this mode is too easy. That I've actually seen too, where something was too easy. But, like, if there's another mode where it's not, well, then that's fine. Saying something's too easy, well, then once again, then that's my opinion. Maybe somebody else wants it that easy. Does that make sense? So maybe I'm being that guy this time. And that's okay. Yeah, and then that's the point, is we can talk about that. The point is that I know how to be the guy that can objectively take myself out of the equation and just be like, this is what it is. Let's look at this together and decide a center of the road, middle viewpoint. Let's debate this and talk about this, and because I can do that. I can say, like, this is too hard or too easy. A game that I think that is sort of, I'll just say it. I think that, like, it's deceptively hard for some people. Does that make sense? Some people, so like Hitman games like that, like espionage games, things like that, these are deceptively hard for people. And the thing I mean by that is it's because we play other games like this that work so differently. That's why it's deceptively hard. It's actually, like, and I want to definitely talk about this more, as we play these games, but, like, like with Hitman 3. I think that's deceptively hard for some people, just because they would normally play a shooter where they run into a room and just shoot everybody. Or, they'll want to, not a pistol, like an SMG or something like that. And they don't really understand, it's not necessarily about doing that. It's about, trying to get this guy to walk this direction so that he slips on that floor that you spilled something on, and then falls down this thing, and it's an accidental thing, and then you can walk out without anybody seeing you. That's what it's about. It's about being creative. It's a sandbox shooter. So that, like that's why it's deceptively hard, is because I think, a lot of folks go into that thinking, well, I'm just gonna, it's a shooter, and it's really not. It's a sandbox. It's just that it's a sandbox, espionage. That's how it should be looked at. It's tactical. It's a guy in a suit. It's not the guy with the 10 utility belts on. He's wearing a suit, and he's showing up, taking disguises, and he's got his fiber wire. It's about your loadouts. It's about planning. It's strategic. And this is very much how, like even you think about like martial arts too. Like it's very much how you enter a fight. Strategic. A lot of times I'll enter a sparring match with somebody, based on their size. Just literally size them up and decide what is the largest thing on them, and that's probably what they're going to use. That's probably their best weapon, or something like that. Just look at how they stand and hold themselves, and just immediately you just notice things and you prepare for that. You prepare for that situation, that encounter, just like you would, with Hitman, where you choose your loadout. It just works differently than dropping down on a Warzone map. Whereas like a Warzone map, yeah, you can plan it out, and that helps, but it's still a little bit different. You're still a guy in a suit, and you're still being covert. Anyway, we got our fire. Man, everybody dipped out. Somebody's still in here. Thank you for sticking around. Everybody dipped out. So, yeah, there may be like a couple of streams here and there where we do like relax stuff. And like a lot of times when I do that, if the camera's not there, it's not because like I play better off camera or anything like that. It's really just because a lot of times I'm setting like a certain mood for the stream. That's just really what I do. It's about engagement in chat too, more so than a lot of times I feel like it can be more engaging to just have the game there, versus always having me there. And sometimes it is more engaging, like when I'm there and stuff, and just high energy and stuff. But like a relaxed stream, a lot of times it just doesn't make any sense to me to have me there on the screen when you're relaxing to the game and stuff. And then then I can lower the decibels and like talk once in a while and stuff like that, and we can just chill and you guys can relax a bit more to the sounds of the game, and I can focus more on that than the aesthetic of me being in front of you, if that makes sense. When you're a streamer, it's like I know a lot of folks out there like are streamers too that watch my channel and stuff, so they probably know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're a streamer, you can't just get on the camera and be how you normally are. It's not how it works. Yeah, like you have to be entertaining, and that's partially where I would like to get back to with our new normal is a lot of this stress is just sort of led me to have streams where I'll admit I'm bored, and we got to get back to a new basically that's the point is you can't just get in front of a camera as a streamer and be how you normally are, you have to look a certain way and present yourself a certain way, and also yeah, like if, for example, I have a pretty bad case of RBF. Yeah, y'all know what RBF is, right? This is legit. I am a guy with RBF. This has been my problem for so long. I am a guy with RBF. I will sit here and just have that face, and I don't even realize it. And so like I just have to smile a little bit, and that's it. It's nothing to do with my mood. It's just literally that's just how my face looks. So I'm just sitting there. Do you guys know what RBF is? Look it up if you don't know what RBF is. Urban Dictionary. I'm a guy with RBF. Yeah, it. I understand that. I get it. So like that's the point. Is like as a streamer, you can't sit there with RBF. You have to. It might work for a female. It doesn't work for a guy. People just hate you. Think you're a douche or something. So you gotta smile. You gotta be positive. Yeah, otherwise you're a douche to the whole world. It really does work that way. I hate to say it. It's true though, and it's there's some truth to that though too. I mean, there's a lot of douches out there. So I mean, I understand, but I can respect it too. Wanting to see positivity and like knowing that somebody is okay and feeling good about what they're doing and stuff like that makes sense. And I want to display that for you guys too, and do more of that. But again, that's my point. Is with the relaxed streams, I just feel like a lot of times we can remove the camera element and we can be a little bit more involved in the game with the sounds and aesthetics of the game and not necessarily me. And then also like so with the new setup too, I don't know if you guys noticed the lighting is just a million times better, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that like before I was surrounded by black walls. So black walls are just going to absorb. Just absorb. So like you need all this light, and it was just constantly, like just constant. So like there was no light bouncing around. I have no light bouncing off of anything, so I always had to have something in my face in order for my face to be lit up. So just really, I don't like how some of the like literally just for the past several years, I really don't like the lighting and how my face looks on a lot of these streams and stuff like that. And it literally just comes down to the fact that I'm surrounded by black walls. So thankfully that's gone, and we can do stuff like this now too. And be more updated with you guys, a little more personal. What I was also planning on doing maybe is getting the chat too on this screen once in a while, where we can sit, you can just chat and stuff, like campfire stories and all that. I love that idea. That was the whole point, was to do something where we have a campfire story, we get the ball rolling, and get people in here. And then I'll tell my story, and then that gets you guys in here. And we do the updates, and that's the whole point. Is that's how you do it, and that's how I always used to do it. I just, with the elf chats and stuff like that, we got so disorganized for so long. I'll admit it, and so we just got to get back into that. But that was just a different demographic. That was K-pop, music demographic versus gaming. So we'll like get back into stuff kind of like that, but with a different demographic. And that's not to say that I won't still talk to the Super Junior Elf fans out there. I still love you guys and appreciate all of you greatly. I'm still staring at my entire collection right now as we speak, and it's still right here on display in the background, as promised, as always, and I will never, ever, ever go back on that. I told you guys I wouldn't. It's always there. And the main one of the main albums is like right here on display too, as I always said. It's pretty much my favorite, so that's why that one's there. I also mounted the Super Junior framed poster more central so people could see it this time instead of it being somewhere else where you guys could never see. And the plan is to get some more. I'm gonna get something up there too, and like some stuff back here. That's probably gonna go. Okay. So this is. I would love to frame this. We got to get this up too. I would love to frame this. Yeah, I gotta get that up. I have to get that up. I love it. So that's I gotta get that framed probably. But yeah, we gotta finish. Like I said, I gotta finish getting organized, and that was the whole point, was to just be able to sit here and grab something. Oh look, the album's right here. Yeah. I got pretty much every single one of Weird Al's albums, too. I love Weird Al. You guys know that about me? I love Weird Al. I followed him, like, pretty much my whole life. I found out about him, actually, when Alapalooza was still kind of new. I was a kid, and I loved Achy Breaky Heart. And then I heard Achy Breaky Song, and I was laughing so hard, I fell in love with it. And then found out about Weird Al, and I just kept following his career. And yeah, so I just, I have all this stuff. There's Weird Al in 3D. Here's straight out of Linwood. I'm looking at 2 more right here, followed by a whole bunch of Offspring CDs. I love the Offspring, too. One of my favorite bands, for sure. You know that Dexter Holland, the lead singer, is he has his PhD in molecular biology. Dude's a freaking scientist. Amazing. Some of those guys are stupid smart. Literally. They don't know how to not be intelligent. You'll be doing something, they'll be like, no, that's wrong. I got all my little figures down here, like the stuff that you guys used to see in the background. It's just sort of sitting here because I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet. So this is Vegeta. He's got to get clean. He's a little dusty. This is Vegeta. Oh my God, his tail's falling off. This is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So this is actually GT. For those of you who don't know, this was GT. Not Z or Super, but GT. And then we got Trunks down here, I think. Yeah, I think he's missing somewhere down here is his sword. We got Trunks. We got Super Saiyan Rose Goku. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is Rose Goku. His hair is pink, not yellow. There we go. And now it looks pink. Yeah, so that's technically Goku Black then. Technically. That's Super. Here you go. Here's GT. Here's Super Saiyan. Here's Gogeta, I should say. Gogeta. So that's a lot of what you guys would see behind me is like just this stuff. So I gotta figure out what we're doing with a lot of this. We got Doctor Strange. I love this one. I for the longest time I've been wondering if I should take it out or leave it in. And it's like there's all this cool stuff. He has like the background with him. He's got all these different hand signs. This is honestly like so cool. But yeah, like for the longest time, I've been wondering if I should take it out. I actually just cleaned the. Actually, just cleaned it. And as you guys know, Starfield controller. You guys know what controllers I have. You guys saw me, I think, get this the one day. And then you guys know I have the Horizon 5 controller too. This is the one I typically use because this is a really nice controller. The reason I like this one is because it has the rubber grips on the back. It actually sort of feels like a steering wheel. But it's actually one of the nicest controllers I've ever seen, to be honest with you. It's really cool. And I got Daystrike camo and then mineral blue, the blue version of this one. And electric volt. That one bit the dust though. That was one of my favorite controllers, and it bit the dust. Did not survive. That is a cool freaking controller though. And then for those of you who are Harry Potter fans that follow the channel, because of Hogwarts Legacy or what have you, I'm a huge fan, I really am. Neville is one of my favorite characters. A lot of time, I am sort of a main character kind of guy. That I have reasons a lot of times. Yeah, like there is a lot of times a reason, a legit one. But yeah, I typically am a main character kind of guy. I like Goku, I like Naruto, and I like Harry. But it's because I agree with their message, you know, in life, or you know, like whatever they're essentially fighting for, you know, how they do it, go about it. I typically agree a lot of times with the main character and relate. So it's just that's why. I always liked Goku, and the funny thing is, like, people are like, why do you like him so much? You know, like that was the whole point. It was like everybody, for the longest time, was always such fan, you know, Vegeta or Gohan or something. Now it's more commonly acceptable. But you know, like when I'd tell people Goku a long time ago, they'd sort of roll their eyes and be like, "Oh, of course," you know. And I'm like, "Well, no, hear me out. Like, honestly, I always liked Goku because Goku was the one dude that could pull something out of nowhere and beat the guy even though he wasn't stronger than him." And they actually thought of really smart ways for him to do that instead of just going, "Ah!" You know? So that was why I always liked Goku, because he always improved the story for me. You like Hinata in Night Force Gaming? Yeah, she was always so cool because that was the whole point, was that her drive was the fact that she always saw Naruto in this light where Naruto had basically no friends, nobody to support him, and he always gave his all and tried and got back up even when people knocked him back down. And so that was her drive, was just the fact that he was always so focused. Why shouldn't she be, even though she's sort of the opposite, where she could have as many friends as she wants, but she doesn't really want that. You know, she wants to be a loner. You know, she wants to be left alone. Yeah, well, I'm glad you did, because I wanted them too. So, all right, let me tell you, probably one of my favorite moments in Naruto was the confirmation. Like, this was the confirmation for me, was when they were going to be together. Was literally that moment when we all knew Naruto was getting a Super Saiyan moment. Yeah, when he came back and Pain had destroyed the entire village, Kakashi was dead. Like the one guy that could, yeah, exactly, Pain. And there was 7 of him, right? And Kakashi was dead, Jiraiya was dead, Everybody was dying. And Naruto comes back, and even Naruto still can't quite handle him. He's almost there. And then he's like just pummeling Hinata. And it zooms in on his eye, just getting redder. And I'm just boom. That was epic. We all loved it. It was amazing. That was his Super Saiyan moment. But it wasn't. I liked how they did it because it didn't seem the way they did it. It was more like it came out of the fact that he understood how to use Tail Beast mode sort of before he got it because he had just activated Sage mode. It was almost like, you know, he had more of a conscious control over the tailed beast inside him because of Sage mode. I liked that concept instead of just no, he raged out and became the tailed beast. Because if he had done that, you know what I mean? Like it would have gone a little bit differently. And he sort of did. But if you remember at the end, he went and then found Pain and still took care of him in just Sage mode. Proving that he could, you know? So yeah, really, really cool writing. I've seen people say that like Naruto and Sasuke have a Goku and Vegeta dynamic, and they're just copying Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And I feel like the folks that say that really don't watch the anime very much. They sort of just sit back and look at it with a really judgmental view. Because if you watch the anime from Naruto, like the actual original Naruto, it's actually a good show. Just get past the first few sort of kid-like episodes. It gets pretty good. It gets pretty adult pretty quick. And they're in very real situations really quick, especially like the bridge, like their first mission really. That was so awesome. And then like just the whole personal battles they go through where Sasuke literally just sacrifices himself to save Naruto and chooses to get hit by a bunch of crap even though he hates him and he's sort of kind of evil and stuff. He just sort of does it because there's good in him, you know. I thought that was cool writing because that's the point, is he's conflicted. He does these good things, but yet he thinks like this. So is he good or is he evil? And it was good writing. I thought it was great. You're always wondering what's going to happen with Sasuke and thinking, you know, he's probably going to leave eventually. And it really wasn't like Vegeta and Goku at all. It just, I mean, the relationship dynamic is similar, but it's not at all the same. Not even close. Vegeta was evil. Sasuke wasn't. It was an innocent little kid who his brother, he found out his brother like basically killed his entire clan and his parents right in front of him. That's Sasuke. He's not Vegeta. So yeah, he grew up in, you know, like learning this stuff and had to just, and he was the best. He was the Uchiha. So he was the academic. So yeah, he is similar to Vegeta in the sense that he's supposed to be like really good and stuff, but he's not like a Saiyan, you know. He's not like, you know, like some royalty or something like that. And their dynamic, Naruto and Sasuke, honestly was the true yin and yang friend dynamic. It really was. It really truly was just the concept of Sasuke was being bullied his whole life by his own demons and thought that he had everyone else to blame, was just always blaming, looking for reasons to blame everyone else instead of just realizing they were trying to help him. And this is real, like legitimate people do this. That's why I liked it. It was such good writing. Like that's the point, is like that sounds a lot like people I know, you know, and so like I just I think it's good, you know, and really good character development. Yeah, exactly. Goku and Vegeta had yeah, exactly. That's the point. They had a frenemy vibe. Sasuke and Naruto literally fought out of necessity. The whole point was Sasuke was leaving the village and deserting it, so hence he is now an enemy of the village, because the point is that he was going to Orochimaru, the bad guy who just killed the Hokage of the village. So that was the point, was that Naruto would be tasked with stopping him. He wouldn't now obviously his teachers would be like, well, no, it's not going to be you, it's going to be Kakashi, it's going to be somebody else. Naruto's not going to care about that. He's going to be like, no, I'm going to go get Sasuke back because you're going to kill him. That's the point. He wanted to go get Sasuke back. The whole point of the whole series, the whole point, the very last point of the last pinnacle moment of Naruto Shippuden was that I was going to come back for you and I was going to be stronger, but I was going to prove to you that I could kill you and choose not to. And that was the point, was that Sasuke was always like, oh, everybody's just going to kill the next person and just kill the bad guy and kill. No, I'll find a different way. And he had to prove that. And that was the point. He eventually did. It was such good writing. I thought that was so cool. And the fact that so many people missed that point at the end, you know, no, the whole point was I'm your friend. And then like that was showing you why they did so many flashbacks too in that moment, was the fact that they immediately had Sasuke in that moment flash back to when all the other times he told him he was his friend and all the other years. Immediately you realized why there's so many flashbacks, because they wanted it to feel like the final moment, you know, flashing back like that was that much more important. You know, that was the point, was that this was always going to be how it was going to be. He was going to come to this realization because he was going to remember that Naruto's been telling him this the whole time and nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is him. So I thought that was cool. I love Naruto. Yeah, like I'll just keep talking about that. That's my favorite. I loved when Boruto started too, watching that and then getting to watch that. But then I got really disappointed when they brought out Baryon mode for Naruto and then didn't do anything after that. There's just nothing. I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't watched yet, but you should watch that, because some real serious stuff's going on with Naruto finally in the story. And it's another Sasuke Naruto dynamic where they're going to be starting to butt heads again. They're already butting heads a little bit. So it's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it. But if you haven't gotten caught up on Boruto, something happened big with Naruto. And you got a new mode, and now he also got nerfed. So did Sasuke. Yeah. Yeah, because it needed to happen because I think when they brought the writer back from the original series, and I think they'll take a look at it and went, we're not going anywhere with this. The whole point was that, eventually, if these guys are so strong, they're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. If you don't take them backward, there's no moving forward with the show. So I think that was actually good writing for them to get nerfed a bit, and now maybe show some personal battles where they have to show how they're going to hold their own, even though they don't have these powers anymore. Can we talk about it? All right, spoilers, really quick. Spoilers. Anybody that doesn't watch that hasn't seen Boruto, what happens with Naruto, please do not listen to this next part because I want to talk about it. Night Force Gaming, have you seen it? All right. So for anybody that has, I kind of want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about it a little bit because. All right. So he gets Baryon mode. Okay. Now I think this is really interesting because Baryon mode, like, essentially, Kurama uses literally all of his power. Okay. All right. Well, here's what Kurama's dead. That's what happens. That's the big spoiler. That's the one I didn't want to say. Yeah, Kurama dies. But he dies sacrificing himself to have them defeat Isiki, who's like so stupidly overpowered. There's even Sasuke and Naruto cannot. Yeah, so basically what he does is he uses 100%. It's that thing that the Akatsuki basically wanted to do. It's sort of like that thing that Akatsuki ultimately wanted to do, probably, but didn't know how to do it. And so, like, that's the point, is, like, Kurama probably knew that he could use 100% of his power. So, like, that's the point, is, like, it was some ultimate mode. And so, basically, it would expend 100% of his power. He does. Well, we already know that baby Kurama is still alive. I think baby Kurama is still alive. It's just not the same one. Yeah, you're right. I think that's the case, but either way, the Kurama inside Naruto dies. He does not have his power anymore. That's the point. So anyway, he gets 100% of it, and he is so stupidly overpowered, even compared to the guy that was stupidly overpowered compared to them. I thought that was really interesting, and then suddenly it's gone. And now he's taken further back than even when he was before. I thought that was even more fascinating. And now, so he has to go through this personal struggle where he shows how he's learned, I think they should have it where this is now, Sage Mode is now going to be evolved because of this. I think that's what they should do. I think they should have Naruto perfect and evolve Sage Mode into his own thing. And be like, the ultimate sage, and then like the Hashirama wood style just happens because he learns Sage Mode. Because if you remember, Naruto's like one of the he's the Uzumaki clan, and he has the I think he has those cells inside him. Is the point? He's part of that long line. That was the whole point behind, I think, him having a connection with Lady Tsunade too and stuff. Was just that somewhere along the line, I think that's the idea, is that Naruto also has those cells inside him. But that anyway, aside from the Hashirama cell, I think that it would be really cool to have him perfect Sage Mode. And if you remember the little line of dialogue, oh right, you didn't see it. There was a little line of dialogue where Naruto, like, he was even talking different. He was talking like he was older and wiser, and he called it like, he's like, it's like the age of the age of wisdom or something like that, the mode of wisdom or something like that. Almost like he had instantly aged. His brain and just everything about him instantly aged like 10 or 15 years. I think it'd be really interesting if suddenly Naruto is 10 or 15 years, like, in the future, basically, compared to everyone else, and his power, like, basically his Sage Mode is, like, 10 or 15 years enhanced. Like, basically, it took him to the age of wisdom, where basically his brain can now just process everything, like as if he had been, studying for 10 or 15 years, because of that mode. Almost like it just enhanced everything he did by that bit. I think that'd be really fascinating. If you remember correctly, Naruto's chakra was being held by a criminal. So no, Complete. Yeah, exactly. That was the other thing I wanted to get to too. Yes, that's a great point. I thank you for mentioning that. Way back in the Naruto Shippuden series, when he was first learning, if you remember when he was trying to learn his like shuriken and stuff by the waterfall, he was trying to learn how to split the waterfall. Kakashi told him right now, you have about 4 times the amount of chakra that I do. And he was really impressed by that. And then didn't he say if you weren't actually using your own chakra to suppress the Nine Tails, you'd have closer to 400 times the amount of chakra? Wasn't it something ridiculous like that? That's the point. Naruto's an Uzumaki, so he has just insane amounts of chakra reserves. He can store it. That was the point. Like, his dad was a complete master at sealing. And his mom was a chakra master, an Uzumaki, so therefore Naruto's just the golden child. And it's like, then they gave him this tailed beast, and that's all he's ever used. So, like, it just blows my mind, everything they could do with him. Yeah, alright, I thought so. Yes, exactly. So, 400 times the chakra of Kakashi the Copy Ninja. That's messed up. Yeah. That's why Hashirama could too. That's the point. So like that's why Hashirama could control the wood style. That's why I think Naruto should just freaking get it. Because he knows all these nature styles now. He knows wind, I think he knows water now, right? And then he knows fire. I think he knows fire style now. Like, Naruto's a freaking genius with jutsu now. He really is. He's come a long way. That's the whole point. In Boruto, he did his homework. If you watch some Boruto, there's some scenes where he's actually like fighting with Boruto, not using his tailed beast, and he like, doesn't he do a mud wall or something? I don't know. Like, he does some stuff, and it's just like, obvious, this dude's the Hokage now. I love it. So I would love to see Naruto, instead of looking like Naruto in a battle, have him finally be the Hokage he was always meant to be. Please do Naruto justice. Stop doing this stuff with him where we have to give him a tailed beast to be good, and that's part of the personal battle. So right now Sasuke got nerfed too. Boruto got taken over really quick by the curse mark and stabbed Sasuke's Rinnegan. So it's gone. He doesn't have it anymore. Yeah. I don't think they will. I think they know that the fan base will not respond well to Naruto dying. I think Sasuke might have to die, though. I don't know, we'll see. I feel like there's going to be a necessity where at some point Sasuke will need to die to save Naruto. And it'll be some back and forth where he's like, no, like, this has to happen. It's always been the... like, because we kind of see it coming a little bit, where it's like, Sasuke always does kind of clean up after him and sacrifice himself. Eventually, it's going to bite him in the behind a bit. I just feel like that's what's coming from the writers. Like, eventually Sasuke's gonna take the sacrifice play. And it's gonna happen. And everyone's gonna be really mad at Naruto, and he's gonna have to man up and show that it was worth it. He was worth the sacrifice, and he's gonna be a better Hokage because Sasuke did this, and sacrificed for the village and him, and, basically just round him out. Because I think that's where they're going with this. I think that's the point, is now Sasuke is basically having arguments with Naruto again, where he's like, I want to be honest with you, you sort of always relied on Kurama's power. And back there, because that was the whole point, was they ran into a little fumble with something, and Naruto, went to use Kurama's power or something like that, and he just forgot that he couldn't, or something like that, and I was just like, oh wow, that's right. I have to actually use my own chakra. This is intense. This is hard work. that's the point, is like he sort of been taking the lazy route where he's sitting down and then using the chakra reserves to do shadow clones, to do this or that. That was the point Sasuke was making, was that he became sort of a lazy desk Hokage. And so that would be interesting if out of that, you know, that's what happens. I think that would be good writing. But yeah, it would tick off some fans, but I think it would satisfy that good writer's itch to have somebody die that matters, but then not be at Naruto, because they all know that we love Naruto, and you just can't. See, that's the sort of thing where yeah, I feel like that the fan base wouldn't go for that, but like it would be interesting to see. I just feel like, you know, like that's the sort of thing where like the fan base, you know, like that's the unsafe route, you know what I mean? I think that's how they're gonna have you think it's gonna go. Because you know full well, if Naruto tries to make a sacrifice play again, Sasuke ain't gonna let him do it. Because he almost did that this time, remember? Well, no, that's the point. You don't remember. So that's the point, is they both couldn't handle him. And so Naruto was so overly powered in Baryon mode, Sasuke was actually scared. He actually kind of said that a little bit, where it was actually kind of scary. Like, just the way he was talking, like, his power was, like, just that great. He couldn't believe it. You know, like, just his chakra level, just everything about him. And then, like, didn't he say he couldn't even really see his movements or anything like that and stuff like that? Like, this is Sasuke, of all people, saying this, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, Naruto's always been fast, but, you know, I mean, it's Sasuke. It just goes without saying, you know? Yeah. Here's what I want. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool is if, like, something happens where, like, Sasuke gets put in some sort of genjutsu, right, that activates his like Amaterasu or something like that. Wouldn't it be fantastic if there was a second crow? You know what I'm talking about, too. Yep. Wouldn't it be fantastic if after all this time, all he had to do was use it again, but you know, like that whole, like, negative bad thoughts thing where it activates the, you know, like, because he gets into the genjutsu. Yeah, that was what activated it. The whole point was that Itachi waited. He knew, right? Wasn't it something like he knew Orochimaru's specific type of genjutsu, so that activated it? Wouldn't it be fantastic? Orochimaru's a good guy now, technically, too. If he's like under, you know, like, and they don't know how to help him, so they bring him to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru, through his, like, thing, just does some genjutsu to put him in some sort of comatose state. And then, his Amaterasu gets active, and everybody's like, oh my god, and they jump back. And then a freaking crow comes out, and Itachi shows up. It would change everything. It would change everything. Yeah, if a crow came out and Itachi is just reincarnated again. I'm talking about when Itachi reincarnated himself through a reanimation jutsu. That freaking man. That was so awesome. That was so awesome. Yeah, so that would be, I think that would be cool. And it would change everything, because Itachi's that one guy that was arguably stronger than everybody else. but couldn't show it because eventually he had to let his brother defeat him and had to make it look believable. So he could have been hiding his true power the whole time. Yeah, I fully believe Itachi's stronger than Sasuke. I mean, the dude had more experience. I mean, at this point, it would be cool to see them go back and forth. But I still think he'd be stronger because a reincarnated Itachi would have his eyes. You would think. And then that was originally why he wanted to kill him in the first place, remember, is he was justifying it because, remember, he didn't want to kill him anymore, but he justified it because the idea was that he needed eyes, and his brother's eyes were the only ones good enough to replace his, right? That was the justification at the time. And then, like, at the end, he just realizes he was just being an emotional teenager the whole time. Yep, Sasuke was emo. But that's the truth of it. Like, that's real life. This is how people are. Yeah, he was just emo. He was emo. He liked Naruto. Didn't want to admit it. Left the village. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about that. He did obviously always like Sakura. Sasuke didn't really care about those things, though. Yeah, it wasn't like that. He was an academic. He just didn't think like that. Naruto's good. I'm trying to think of where my I don't think I have them in here yet. I got all the DVDs of Naruto toward like the end of like the war, so I can watch it. I actually like the English dub. I know a lot of people like to watch with subtitles. I like the English dub. I love the voice actors. I think they're really good, except for Naruto. He's like the only one where I'm like, they could have done somebody else. Like, she's a good voice actor. I think she's good. I just don't really care for the Naruto voice. And more towards Shippuden, she just started whispering more. Yeah, she just started whispering more to be Naruto instead. Yeah, he was blinded by revenge. But that, I mean, that's emo. That's emotional. That's just emotions. But, I mean, you're right. He was blinded by revenge, but that's just what emo is. It's just a way to justify what you're doing because you're being emotional. It's letting your emotions run you instead of, you thinking about what you're doing first, But he was blinded by revenge for sure. The whole point though was that if he had thought about it, maybe he would have investigated more before jumping. Like sort of like what he did at the end of the war. That was a much more informed, adult way of looking at it. When his brother was back, reincarnated, and then they fought off what's his name? Kabuto. They fought off Kabuto after he, masterminded the war and stole all his powers, and then him and Itachi fought off Kabuto. Sasuke had a much more informed adult way of handling things. He literally just, all right, I'll just reanimate the Hokages and ask him myself what happened. That is a much more, he finally was like, okay, I'm just gonna ask the people who did this. You answer for yourselves. Oh, that's so awesome. I know. I actually, it's funny you said that. I actually finally saw a set at Walmart on Blu-ray. I was like, no way. I was like, finally. I was like, I was looking everywhere for these on Blu-ray for like a while, and then they just weren't out. And it's like, man, easily get My Hero on Blu-ray, no problem, but not Naruto? Are you kidding me? One Piece, you get My Hero, but you can't get Naruto. See, I'm glad to hear that. I'll probably have to do that at some point. I love my Blu-rays. I mean, I love 4Ks too, but um, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'll get the 4K if I can, but you know, Blu-ray is more commonly acceptable. I got the Dark Knight Blu-ray trilogy right here. This one's really cool because this one like comes with like all this extra stuff. See, this is what I hope. I want them to bring back Christian Bale. Did you know he was never asked? They tried to like around when they were casting Batman, they tried to make it sound like they asked him because people were going to be really mad if they didn't. And Christian was so nice about it. He didn't call them out. He just sort of like didn't answer the questions. And then years later, he admitted that he was never asked. That they just kept saying that he was asking for more money and stuff. Nope, they never asked him. They just wanted Ben Affleck to do it. And that's fine. Like, they wrote the role for Ben, but it just... To say that, you know? Yeah, that's awesome that they're doing Shippuden. I love Naruto. This one's cool. So this is the whole thing. We got Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Rises. It's cool. This thing's been through hell. This was my one that I got at Target. This thing's been through hell. This was the Dark Knight when I got it at this is the Target edition, I think. Came like this. Yeah, I actually think the other one's nicer. This one's like really hard to store. That's why it's been through stuff because like I move it around and sometimes it gets something something happens to it obviously. I love it when that's actually like a lot of why like I appreciate like what K-pop artists do with their albums and stuff. It's like a whole experience when you open it. It's something like that, you know. Like a K-pop album a lot of times, like they do stuff like this. It's like an album, See, it's like a whole experience when you open it versus, I mean, sometimes metal artists do it, but not often. A lot of times it really is just something simple. This one was pretty good. They did a little bit more on this one. This was hardwired for Metallica. CD's not in here because it's in my CD case. But yeah. The Dark Knight and Begins were great. Rise was my least favorite. Yeah, I think that's a pretty common... I think most people feel the same way, dude. I feel like most people feel the same way. I have Psy. You know Gundam Style and all that. I have Psy's new album. Psy, he's the artist that made Gundam Style. Oh, you like K-pop too? Super Junior's my favorite. But yeah, I got Psy's album here. This is that. This has Yoongi from BTS. He's on that right there. Yoongi slash Suga. Psy is awesome. He's so funny. Did you know that the guy that's wearing the man, a friend didn't realize this for so long, and he's like kept showing up in all this stuff. The guy in the Gundam style music video, in the yellow suit, the guy that's like laying down and stuff. That dude, he's in a lot of different things. He's a really popular guy in Korea, and he's like the Korean Sherlock Holmes, basically. He sort of has a show where he plays like a sort of a comedic Sherlock Holmes, and he also hosts a show. He's interviewed like Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise, and like he like a show host over there. He was in. He was also in, Dancing King by EXO. That song Dancing King. He was the other guy in that song. That's just that guy. So if you know that song, that's just that guy in the yellow suit from Gundam Style. And I didn't know it for so long. And he's in all this stuff. And we were watching it the one day, and we were like, is that? No. Yeah, I didn't know it either. And then I looked it up. Yeah, I didn't know it for so long. And then I looked it up. Because he kept showing up and stuff, and we were like following this guy, we were like watching this stuff, and then eventually we just watched Gundam Style again, and we're like, we both looked at each other at the same time too, and went, we knew what we were thinking. We're like, that's him, isn't it? Your children love K-pop? Do they listen to Super Junior? Because if they don't, they probably would like him. Super Junior's really good. Psy. We're going for a Psy album. This little pop-up thing. Oh. So the CD's in the car. It's just a book. Oh, okay, we got some pictures. Oh, there's Yoongi inside. Yeah. There's Suga inside. Yeah, just some drawings in this one. Oh my god. Baby. Yeah, it's in my head now. Super Junior is my favorite. I've been following them. I have a lot of reactions. That's sort of how I kind of got started. I did a lot of reactions to the stuff that I like. And then like a lot of first-time reactions to that stuff as it kind of came out. But Super Junior, I actually have a friend that I met a long time ago who's half Korean. And oh wow, I forgot this. They came with Band-Aids. Yeah, these are Psy Band-Aids. I have a friend though who's half Korean who introduced me to like K-pop a long time ago. He introduced me to Super Junior, and the rest is history. They've been out, well, for a long time. This was their first one. This was when they were just 05, Super Junior 05. So yeah, 2005 was their debut, and yeah, I mean I've been following them probably since 2007. I heard of them, I think, in 2006, around there, and then I've been following them since 2007. Don't Done did it for me. Super Junior T. Which one is that? Is that the one with Rokuko and cooking and all that? Or is that K? I can't remember. They have so many. They had so many subgroups over the years. Obviously D&E is my number one subgroup for Super Junior. It's D&E, flat out. I have a D&E. I'm gonna get it up in here, D&E poster, but like, I have so many D&E things. I love No Love. I love that song. Danger was really good. Love D&E. Growing Pains is probably my favorite though. Growing Pains is my favorite D&E song. I like Twice. Twice is my favorite. So like, this entire stack here is pretty much Twice, with a couple of ITZY albums. With a couple of ITZY albums in there. I love ITZY. Love them. Ryujin's my favorite. Momo's my favorite in Twice. Yeah, I love Momo. I love Heechul. Heechul is my favorite. So when Heechul and Momo dated, it was like, I was like, oh man. I was all over that. Oh, that's what you mean for Twice. Oh, okay. You mean alcohol free? You mean alcohol free, right? Sugar free. I don't know, maybe there is a sugar free. You mean alcohol free, right? Like the Latin one. Or wait, that's Dance the Night Away, isn't it? Oh, no. That's another Latin one, too. Yeah, Dance the Night Away was good. No, that was that one. It was very Latin. Yeah, alcohol free, right? Yeah, Rolly? Yeah, I know. So, with Twice, my introduction to Twice was TT. Yeah, that was my introduction to Twice. I love TT. Good song, good video. ITZY, I liked Icy. That was probably my. That's probably still my favorite. Some of the newer ones are really good though. Like Voltage is really good. It's ITZY. That's Icy. Yeah, Twice, like, they just keep impressing me. Feel Special's good. What's that one? Can't Stop Me. Can't Stop Me was really good. Yeah, that one was really good. I liked, Oh, I liked the one they did, too, with, like, So, like, you know with TT, how they had, like, a story? Knock Knock. That was the follow-up. I liked that. That was so cool. Crayon Pop. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with them too much. I'm not really into J-pop too much, if that's sort of more what that sounds like. I'm not huge into that, but... I love Blackpink. So, like, what do you like from Blackpink? Tell me some of your favorites. I like old stuff from Blackpink. Some of the new stuff I don't like as much. Whistle was good. Playing with Fire. I like some of the older stuff. Um, like Kill This Love was decent, but like I like Playing with Fire better. Yeah, Blackpink's good though. How you like that? See that song? It's really catchy. But yeah, after they put it on that Hotel Transylvania commercial, I just can't unsee that commercial when I hear that song now. I love Super Junior. Like every time I talk K-pop, I just immediately get this entire catalog of Super Junior in my head. There's so many different sounds over the years, so many different subgroups that they did. Super Junior M, man, that was solid. And then they had Henry come back and be in there for that one. And Super Junior M. That was so solid with like Swing and all that. That's a good one. Swing was such a good one. But like that was, in my opinion, like that was some of their best stuff, was like when they were making like that really cool club sounding music, you know? Like Acha and Swing. Mr. Simple was cool. I heard it so much. Everybody was like, "Oh, Mr. Simple." If they heard Super Junior, it's either Sorry Sorry or Mr. Simple, and I'm just like, okay, there's other songs. Mamacita, that's solid. A good one. But yeah, Blackpink, man, they're good. They're not like anymore. They're not like up there as like my top, because I like aespa a lot too. aespa just came out. They're from SM, which is the same company as Super Junior, and aespa has been blowing me away. Like Next Level was really good. Black Mamba was awesome. That was a debut song. That was awesome. Oh yeah, everybody likes Do Do Do. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that the first? Wasn't that the first, other than Psy? I could be wrong, but wasn't that the first other than Gundam Style to hit 1 billion views? In K-pop. In K-pop. I think it was. I think. Yeah, Do Do Do. That's definitely like that perfect Blackpink song, I think, that perfectly defines their format. Really, really good stuff. Well, who didn't like Boom Baya? Yeah, Boom Baya was perfect too. That was like the perfect comeback for them. Yeah, that's up there for me. I think that was my introduction to them, was Boom Baya. Itzy, Wannabe's really good. Oh, okay. Alright. You probably would like Taemin then. I mean, that's a guy, but he's he's good, and he's good. He's in like so many groups, but Taemin, man, he is so talented. I loved him in he was in, they threw him in Super M too, because he was in other groups, but like he is an excellent solo artist. actually have. Yep, I actually have. I see with Gundam Style, it's more of like a fun party song to sort of laugh at and remember, versus like some of the other music I listen to in K-pop. That's, in my opinion, is good music, if that makes sense. So like that's how I feel kind of about Gundam Style. Oh. Well, I mean, they're all extremely yeah, that goes with the guys too, right? Yeah, they spend time looking like that. You would probably, I'm so surprised you haven't listened to Aspa, or have you heard about Aspa? You should watch or listen to Aspa. Aespa. Um Here. They're the new girl group from SM. They're all like futuristic. They have a gaming image actually. Their image is gaming. Um, uh, Black Mama's a good one. Girls, this is girls. Watch the girls video like that. That's like flat out like game references. Savage as well. Lots of game references in there. Um, like video games. Zning Ning. Uh, my favorite's Karina, but I also like Winter. So there's Karina. And I'm sure you know, like you've probably seen her. Like she's really popular. There's Winter. I mean they're a newer group. Like I think a year or two old. So like they're newer, but they're really good. Itzy's good too. I really, really, really recommend Itzy. Good song from them is Voltage, but I like the heavier stuff, the the upbeat and the heavier stuff. It sounds like you like the slower stuff, which makes sense for Twice. They're sort of somewhere in the middle. Sometimes they kind of do, more upbeat stuff, and then arrive in the middle sometimes. I like sometimes Itzy will do an album that's more Latin vibes, like this one. Crazy in Love was a really good song. Yeah, lots of stuff in here. I don't even know what is in this. It has like some sticker on the back that I have to take off to open it. Oh yeah, Everglow. I like Dun Dun by Everglow. That's the only one I've heard of them. I like Dun Dun. Itzy, I would recommend like Icy or In the Morning is good. Voltage is really good too. And Wannabe. I think that's the one. Yeah, I think that's Wannabe. Man, that's like that really skyrocketed them, I think. Cuz like that dance routine's like classic with the basically they just like there's this break where they just shift their hips back and forth really fast. It's fancy footwork. It's supposed to look like they're shifting their hips, really they're shifting their feet. But it looks really cool. And Wannabe, that's that one. Yeah, their Ryujin is just like they have such a high energy dance dance line in Itzy, and it's only I think there's 5 of them, right? Yeah, yeah. I'm not leaving anybody out, am I? Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving anybody out. Yeah, there's 5 of them. So lots you can do with 5, one in the middle, and that's usually what they do. They have really good centers, and so like it's very much that duo dynamic a lot of times, but really high energy, and then Aspa's really good too. Like I said, the really excellent vocals in Aspa. Aspa is more about like their vocals are just so good, and then at the same time, Karina really is on point with her dancing. But with them, they're more Blackpink. Aspa is a lot, very much like it's a very Blackpink group. That's why there's like a lot of like competition, I guess, from the fan bases. I don't understand that, but they're a lot. They sound a lot more like Blackpink than a lot of the other groups do. Super Junior. The reason I like Super Junior is because those guys are like as old as me, basically, and they're still doing it. And they've been out since like 2005. So like just the amount that you have to take care of yourself and be good at this to still be doing it is so impressive. And just they're all super talented, and that's the point. Is you see it and you hear it every time you listen to a song, and they have pretty much full control over their production. Pretty much, they were given a label SJ within SM, so Super Junior, and so like they do a lot of have a lot of control over what happens with their songs and stuff like that. And I love that. You hear an actual band in there. You don't hear auto-tuned, vocals, and stuff. It's really them singing, and so like that's what I like is people that are real musicians, real artists and stuff doing this instead of, some producer going in there pre-producing something and then the singer just comes in and sings over it and then the sings badly and then they put auto-tune on it and everything too. That's a lot of times that's what happens. So no, it's totally opposite with these guys. And these guys started off as a 13-member group. And they lost a lot of members over the years, but then didn't let that slow them down. They just kept going full speed ahead. What are we down to? 8 or 9, right? So that's the point. Is over the years we've lost some. I remember, didn't we only have like 7 or 8 during the one phase where like two people? They had just lost a whole bunch of people. And then at the same time, 2 people were shipped out to military. And so, like, we were down to, like, there was one comeback. It was, they really had to step up, and they did. And it was one of their best out. It's actually my favorite one now, too, to this day. So that's just funny that even though they were down those members, they stepped up, and it's still my favorite album. And one of the most memorable comebacks ever. So that just goes to show, like, regardless of, losing some members, they held their own, and stayed in the spotlight, stayed relevant. That's impressive. It really is. Especially those, like I said, those guys are all like around my age. Some of them are 40 now, I think. So Super Junior. Black Suit. That's the one I was actually talking about there. Black Suit, that's a good one. Like I said, people don't really hear like Sorry Sorry or Mr. Simple or something like that. I loved Black Suit. I loved Mamacita. They have some Spanish ones too. They worked with they worked with Leslie Grace. Lo Siento. So maybe since you like the girl groups, you can listen to that. That's an excellent one. You got He Chul coming in at the end with the rap line. And then One More Time was the other Spanish comeback they did. And then they did that Otra vez is what they called that. I guess it means again in Spanish, one more time in Spanish. And they did this too with another Spanish, a different Spanish group this time, and a lot of people liked this one. This one really, really, really was a lot of the reason that they got noticed for sure. So go look that one up too. Super Junior, one more time. And then some of the really good ones that are like for example, one of the members, Shindong, he actually directs a lot of stuff, and he directed a two-part video for them for two songs that are beloved by the whole fan base. And the order in which you should watch, I would recommend watching This Is Love and then Evanescence. Because that's the point, is, it's supposed to send the message to enjoy life while it lasts, because it can and it's a very real message, and I appreciated it. I loved it. It's beautiful. But yeah, This Is Love and Evanescence. That's the point. It's about losing the thing you love most. Possibly losing all of it. The thing that matters most. And all that. Just the fact that they were able to even have one of their members direct the two videos too at the same time. Shindong doing it, but then just nailing the comebacks and how good the music was. And then Hyuk having his epic dance duet, with the female that they chose, the female actress, the female dancer, I should say, they chose for the video. That was great. The whole scene was great. And then Super Junior surprised us again for their anniversary, and they came out with the Renaissance and Burn the Floor. The video for that just blew away the whole fan base. They reminded us that they will not stop surprising us and can still do this, and basically showed up with, all dressed up all nice, the whole Renaissance image, they're looking all spiffy in their dress clothes inside this real fancy room, and then they just do this real epic, unassuming at first, but then epic ballad, really. I mean, that's what it feels like, and it's like, and then they just burn the floor, they really do. They dance around, like the whole video is done with lighting effects and camera movement, where they have a very intricate dance routine through the whole scene, and they'd have to do it in one take basically. Now I'm sure they didn't, but when they do it live, yeah, and it's crazy. And they're holding lights. They're doing this with lights. And like the camera's moving and the lights are going off, and then the lights they're holding are being shifted. It was just amazing. And they only just did this recently. So that's Super Junior. Super Junior got their name as being like the group that they have all these guys, but yet every single one of them is on point with the dance routine. And it's just surprising you with like legitimate things that you never even considered as really cool routines, like just ideas you would never consider doing. A lot of that stuff is because Unhyuk is in the group, somebody who was even recognized by Michael Jackson while he was still alive. Like Unhyuk, he went and did his first solo recently, and it blew everyone away. He won all these awards and got offered all these job positions all of a sudden to start directing plays, like music acts and stuff on, actual like legitimate like stage venues and everything. He just kept getting all these offers all of a sudden. And that's the point, is like these guys have always been talented, but like the business oftentimes doesn't let the artists do something solo until they spend all this time proving it. And so that's what Super Junior did for the industry, is that I think they proved that you really can have all these guys in a group, and every single one of them can be individually talented in their own ways. And I think that's what a lot of people were underestimating. So anyway, check them out if you can. Yeah, really, really good group, really inspiring. And they're funny, too. They're all super funny. They all just joke around and have fun. Yeah, nothing is serious with them. Until it's time to get on stage, and then they're professionals. And blow you away. Was lucky enough to... I unfortunately haven't seen them in person, but I was lucky enough to... I did see BTS. I saw BTS like 3 times. But I unfortunately never saw Super Junior because they never came close enough. But I during COVID was able to get a digital ticket to see them live at the Super Show that they did for everybody. So I did do that and had a great time, and it was such a good show. Definitely one of the most entertaining concerts I've ever seen. Really, really cool. And they have a newer song, very modern feel for sure, Tiki Taki. And this performance was just top notch. Just really impressive stuff. Really, the visuals are just incredible. The ideas they come up with. How's everybody doing? This is going on longer than I had anticipated. I just sort of started talking and kept going. This is how I am. I apologize, Nightbot. I apologize for Nightbot's ramminess. Freaking Nightbot. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh man, so these are the ones that I spent some time carefully looking up and searching for a while ago when it was really hard to find them. And everybody's like individually selling them. So these are it. And then I had to look up basically where the filler episodes were to not buy an entire DVD of filler episodes. So that was the whole point, was I wanted to skip that. And the funny thing is, like, you can see there's a gap of 5 volumes that I skipped. And so, like, that's why I wanted to look it up, is because there's so much filler near the end of Shippuden. So that we have, like, the first one here is just the Naruto Volume 1. That goes way back. But then, like, the rest of these started Volume 23, Shippuden, which is episodes 284 to 296. So, like, we're starting pretty late here in Shippuden for these. These start basically at the beginning of the war. That was where I wanted to start getting them. Basically from the point at which Naruto was told he was getting special training and really they were hiding him from the enemy. That's really what they were doing. And then we have the introduction to Boruto. If you haven't seen this, this is actually a really good movie to watch if you're unsure about Boruto. Just watch this, Boruto the movie. It's a really good introduction to the series. Basically, they go through the gist of what happens the first few episodes, and sort of get over the annoying Boruto. So, people who didn't like the show didn't watch it very long, because a lot of times, I shouldn't say that about everybody, but a lot of times, of what I would hear from people that didn't like the show was that they didn't like Boruto, that he was annoying. And I'm like, well, that's the point. You have to. That was what they said about Naruto too, and then they didn't get past the first few episodes. So like, that's the point. Is Boruto's just like that? That's the point. So, the funny thing is, Sasuke mentors him. That's what's really interesting about Boruto. Sasuke is Boruto's mentor. So like this is why, and then Boruto sort of goes through this whole thing where he just thinks his dad's kind of a jerk. He doesn't want to ever spend any time with him because he's always at the office. And then he thinks his dad isn't very good. Basically, he never sees him do anything. And then basically, he has this moment where he sort of cheats. Boruto kind of cheats, and his dad's like scolding him in front of everybody, and then like this thing attacks, and basically everything goes down, and Naruto like saves Boruto's life, and Boruto just like sees him in a different light all of a sudden, because like that was the whole point, was like he didn't realize that like he had this giant tailed beast inside him, and he could just whip all this power out, like he really just, that's the point, is Naruto is such a nice person, he would never show that, like, so like that's the point, is that he was always like hiding his power and stuff like that. So that was just the first time he had seen it, and so he thought thought he was like a pushover and stuff like that. So it was cool just seeing that. And then this is technically Orochimaru's kid right there on the end there, technically. Sarada, that is Sasuke and Sakura's kid right there, Sarada. She's a really cool character. And Shikadai, we all know who that is. We all know who Shikadai is. And yes, Sai has a kid as well. Sai has a kid as well. But yeah, Naruto's burying mode. It looks like that. It doesn't look blue like that. It's normal. They just made it look like that to look cool. His cape is actually red, not blue. So like that whole cloak is actually really like red normally, I think, in the show. That's his burying move though. And then that's Ishiki when he's fighting. So yeah. And the concept there is that they are literally aliens. Where they're finally dealing with the story that they dealt with at the end of Shippuden, where they couldn't beat her. The idea is they're finally meeting these people. And they're aliens, basically. They're complete aliens. They're from another planet. Yeah. So that is my physical Naruto collection. I'm a huge movie fan though. Like I got lots of movies. I got the Bourne collection right here. Some of my favorite movies right here. Really, really good movies. Never seen the Bourne movies, and you want to see like some real, actual tactical fighting. Some good stuff, especially that first one. You can skip the one with Jeremy Renner. That one doesn't matter. You can skip that one. That one doesn't matter. And then Jason Bourne was awesome. Yeah, Jason Bourne was pretty good. That's Jason Bourne. Does anybody know Lonely Island? Like, I'm on a boat and stuff like that. Cool guys don't look at explosions. All that. Lonely Island with yeah, you guys know, right? With Andy Samberg. So basically, anybody that doesn't know, this is one of the many things that came out of SNL that blew up and became viral because of how funny and good it was. Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yep. Yeah. So funny. So funny. What was the one? I love the quote on the back. Ever since I was born, I was dope. Yeah. So basically, half of the stuff in this was like banned. They can't like air it like ever. So like I can't even repeat probably some of it. But yeah, the one song where he's like, just take your teacher, look him dead in the eye. Everybody needs Dodgeball. Do you know that there's a sequel coming? Do you know that there's finally a sequel coming? Oh yeah. And you know, if you can dodge a wrench, then you can dodge the sequel. I actually thought this was an excellent movie. Tron Legacy. And Olivia Wilde was absolutely outstanding. Like that main guy was pretty good, but Olivia Wilde was outstanding, and so was Jeff Bridges. They were just outstanding. But yeah, Tron Legacy, like this was cool because I got this, and then it came with the original and the new one. I'll take the little holograph off. You guys can see a little bit better. I loved this. This was great. Yeah, 3D. Do you guys remember when 3D TVs were? I called that. It's like I was like, this technology is not going to exist in a couple of years. Don't buy one. It was crap. 3D TVs were crap. I miss the old school days wearing the red and blue glasses. Those were the days. I have one of the last remaining, I don't know where it is now. I have one of the last remaining old school like red and blue 3D movies, and it was the Brendan Fraser Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's in here somewhere. It's the Brendan Fraser Journey to the Center of the Earth, not the Rock one. It's the good one, and it has the red and the blue, and it's Blu-ray. And it was one of the last ones they did where you can just watch it on a normal TV, and it's just red and blue. It wasn't bad. It looked pretty good. Yeah, it looked pretty good. This is cool. This was one of the cooler sets that I got. So when this comes out, it is just like the normal one, but then it comes with this. And hold on, let's see if we can take this out. This is cool. These are actual prints too. Yeah, like I know it's hard to tell. They are actual prints. And if you laid them on the ground on the back, it's a poster. It spells out Logan. It's cool. That one's from X-Men Origins. I actually liked the movie, and then the end happened. Yeah, I was like, this isn't too bad, and then the end happened. I was like, okay, never mind. This is from the Wolverine. The Wolverine was good, though. That was the follow-up, the sequel. And that one, too. I like that one. And there he is in Logan. Unfortunately, that's like that one thing, that one movie where I was never able to get a physical copy. I should have. Well, I could. Yeah, because that one, I love that movie. I love Scott Pilgrim. Brie Larson was in that too. I love Chris Evans in that. Chris Evans was... Yeah, I loved Chris Evans and Scott Pilgrim. Some of the ones that I have that I like to look at are the steel books, because they just look so cool. So like I got all three of the John Wicks. I should say all three. There's a fourth one now. Yeah, right? So those are the steel books. The steel books look cool, but that's pretty much it. Like, they just look cool. A lot of times there's not a whole lot on the inside. It really is a lot of times just this. Yeah. Yeah, don't. I can't just drop. I can't just buy something. That's my point. Yeah, I can't just like. I can just buy something. And it says the dude abides in the back. The Big Lebowski. Yeah, I mean, I'll eventually get that at some point. I literally just can't. This one's cool. I don't have the first one in Steelbook, but I got the second one. Yeah, I mean, if it's easily, hopefully I can find it again when I want to get it. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. When you want to get it, you can't find it again. And again, like some of these will be random, because like this one, this is the second one in the series. I have the other ones, but not in Steelbook. I wanted this one because it had Benedict Cumberbatch on it. That's why I got this Steelbook, literally because they had Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan right on the front cover, and he's brilliant in anything he plays. I thought he was an excellent Khan. I thought he was brilliant. Yeah, and I think if there's one guy that can pull off being that epic, basically Khan. If you don't know much about Star Trek, Khan was the guy where I forget how the line goes. Like it's something like like he's like talking to Kirk or something, and he's like, like, I've seen you take on an entire fleet of Klingons, blah 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 blah, and then like do all these things, and you really think this one guy is gonna take down all of, like basically this one guy is gonna somehow take down all of Starfleet? Yep. That was the whole point. Was like Khan was that guy. That was the point. Khan was the dude that was smart enough, resourceful enough to do that. He was the Ethan Hunt of Star Trek, the Jason Bourne of Star Trek. And yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch freaking nailed that. I gotta be honest, I didn't, I hope that they do a little bit of a better job. Not that I don't dislike Robert Downey Jr. or anything. I just didn't really care for his version of Sherlock Holmes. Didn't think it seemed like Sherlock Holmes really at all. I think it seemed like Robert Downey Jr. just kind of being Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes, kind of pretending a little bit, and his accent really wasn't that believable. Um, so while I love him as an actor, I didn't really. I thought the first movie was a lot better than the second one, and even the first movie, I had a little like it was kind of a little. I was like, eh. I mean, at the same time, when you watch Benedict's Sherlock Holmes TV show on BBC, it just blows you away, and you're enthralled. You just like can't peel your eyes away. And then I'll watch Robert Downey, and I'm just kind of like laughing, and like it's kind of like a joke almost. So, like it's just that's the comparison. So hopefully on that third one they're making now, it measures up to what they did with the BBC TV show, because I think you can do Sherlock a little bit better, and I don't think that was Robert's fault. I really don't. Some of these are Avengers, so like this one's Infinity War and this one's Endgame. Yeah. And they just look like that. Yeah, I just look like that. Then I have this. The important one. This is like my childhood movie right here. I watched this crap on repeat. This crap that's that crap. Yeah, I watched it on like repeat. Yeah, the steelbook looks cool for this one. And then the second movie is just behind. Oh yeah, Robert Zemeckis for Steven Spielberg, absolutely, man. And you know, like you had the absolutely brilliant Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox, I feel so bad for him because like, talk about a guy that would have been a brilliant. He was a brilliant actor, but he would have gone on to be even more brilliant. I mean, in my opinion, if you look at Back to the Future, there was so many times, especially in that second movie, where Michael J. Fox played another version of like his family members or something. And he was just wearing like makeup and stuff, and he did it just so perfectly. I was like, whoa, it's just Michael J. Fox. Do you remember in the third one when he played some ancestor that has like an accent from like that time and everything? He just nailed it. And I'm like, and we're all laughing at the fact that it's Michael J. Fox just nailing this accent, nailing this character from like, you know, the 1800s. Like, it was great acting. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, sell your product better. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, good movie. Yeah, this is excellent. Excellent. Yeah. For sure, I love Back to the Future, man. Love it. Ugh. I have yet to open this. I have a steelbook here that, like, I was planning to, like, watch it with somebody. I was planning to watch it with somebody. But like so a movie a movie series that is important to like my existence and growing up is Wayne's World. I mean, it's very part of who I am. A lot of the comedy and stuff too, you know, just the fact that it's two guys that started off on as you know an SNL sketch, but then they do it as a movie and it's successful. I mean, um, you know, very few times did this happen, but it did happen. Very few times did it happen that it was successful, I should say, and and at the same time, it was so perfect at depicting what it was actually like, and it was so funny too. But then we also had all these cool characters and cool actors in it, like Chris Farley showed up, and then Meatloaf showed up. Aerosmith showed up in the second one. Um, Alice Cooper showed up too in the first one. So like, just I loved how awesome that was, and how awesome the movie was too. Dana Carvey is one of my favorite comedians of all time too, and he played Garth just excellently. So I've had this steelbook sitting here that I got for the 30th anniversary, and I never even opened it. And I've just been waiting to watch it with like a friend or something like that. You know, like waiting for a friend that, you know, maybe want to watch it or something with me. Because I've seen the movies like a million times, but I never really, I didn't open it yet. I just got it for the 30th. Because I had heard they were doing a Blu-ray special for the 30th, so I pre-ordered it when they had announced it a while back. So yeah, there it is. As you can see, I never opened it. So yeah, I'm just waiting for a special occasion or something, you know. Maybe we'll sit down. I'll sit down with somebody for my birthday and watch it or something. To the Murphmobile. Yeah. This was my Bill and Ted. Like, a lot of people watched Bill and Ted. I actually didn't watch Bill and Ted sort of until like a little bit later. When I was younger, I watched this. It's really mainly just because I grew up watching SNL, so I sort of already knew Wayne's World from that. I knew the church lady too. Yeah, Dana Carvey. I'd already been watching SNL. I had known Mike Myers already. I remember a lot of people that around the time that movie came out were really blown away by the fact. Yeah, we didn't have internet, so it's not like we could look anything up. And then like, yeah, people that didn't know Mike Myers very well were starting to see him in interviews and stuff. And one of the big things was just that he was A, Canadian, and B, he had red hair. Yeah, like it was just, I guess the wig just really suited him. People thought that was his hair or something. I don't know, but yeah, it was just, it was funny that like people were really blown away by the fact that he didn't sound or look anything like his character. Yeah, he was a good actor. He's a good actor. And then it's just funny how like, meanwhile everybody's doesn't act that way about Dana Carvey, and here he is pulling off such an awkward character like Garth. I thought it was brilliant. I knew people like that too. Yeah, Master of Disguise. I hated it too. It was a stupid movie. I think that Dana Carvey makes really funny jokes, and he's a really good comedian, but honestly, I watched some of his other movies too, like Opportunity Knocks. That was probably the best one he did. I was a huge Dana Carvey fan. I actually looked his movies up and watched them, and I remember I was waiting for that one to come out. And I was like, oh, finally, a Dana Carvey movie that stars Dana Carvey, and it was just really bored watching the whole thing. I'm like, is this it? And like, that's fine if you don't want story and just like funny jokes the whole time. I guess like that's fine. I just didn't. For me, it didn't hold its own as a movie. I much rather prefer his stand-up. I love his stand-up comedy. I loved his HBO special a lot. I used to sit there and rewatch that all the time. The thing he did with the OJ case and everything. He's so good at impressions. Yeah, yeah. That's just it. Dana Carvey was a master impressionist. The funny thing is, Dana Carvey throughout history, oftentimes, people will do an impression, and nobody will know how to do it until he does it. The funny thing is, Alec Baldwin did this with Trump. That's the funny thing. Alec Baldwin did this. So, like, Dana Carvey typically would do this with presidents. That's why I bring it up. Is he was very classically good at impersonating presidents, and then became friends with Bush Sr. literally because of that. They loved it. They thought it was hilarious. They actually became real friends with Bush Sr. He got invited to the White House. Yeah, they were real, actual friends. Him and his wife were friends, like Laura Bush, all that. And then the funny thing was, I had never heard anybody impersonate Obama, except the one dude on SNL. And I'm like, okay, that's not bad. It's pretty good. So I'm like, I wonder what. And then I looked up Dana Carvey impersonating Obama, and he didn't really do it many times. But there was the one where he was sitting, I think it was Jimmy Fallon. He was sitting there, and Jimmy did his little thing where he does the wheel. And he got, I think, like Obama talking about candy or something like that. And it was so funny. And he was like, he did it so perfect. He was like, well, do you have a Snickers bar? Or something like that. And he did the chin thing where you... I love Dana. That's the point. Hey, Tyler, what's up? I love Dana. Like, that's the point. He adds this whole... He knows people are a character. He gets that. That's the whole point behind his comedy is, you know, like, characters. You know, like, artists will see somebody for who they are. That's the point, is like they'll see the most prevalent thing about them, and then draw that outwardly in their appearance, and that's a character. And so like that's the point, is Dana Carvey recognized that Obama is just one of those people that makes absurdly long pauses, and then goofy faces while he does it sometimes. You know, like goofy thinking faces. So. He really laid that on thick, and it worked great. Yeah, go look it up. It's like Dana Carvey, Obama talking about like candy or something like that, and it's like Halloween candy, and he just freaking nails it. So yeah, you gotta love Dana Carvey. Cause like I always I honestly, if I'm being truthful, I wanted to see him do it, because like I said, he is so good at exaggerating. That's the point. You have to, for his impressions, he would always exaggerate that part of their personality, you know, and so he did that with Obama. He did that so well with was it Don Knotts? He did a great Don Knotts impression. People that people that nobody that's alive today knows who they are. People are looking stuff up. Who's Don Knotts? Yeah, Church Lady was great. I loved that segment. Basically, he'd sit there and be a prudish church lady that always made fun of people and blamed Satan for everything. But then started the show by like sometimes playing drums or really high energy stuff. Just hilarious. Yeah, that was such a great character for him. he did the church lady dance. All right, guys. Well, I better get to work. I better get to doing stuff. I was planning on just sitting here for like maybe an hour or so. And then, sure enough, here we are 3 hours later. So, like I said in the beginning, I'm not sure if. Yeah, I'm not really sure if, like we're gonna necessarily get to a stream today. Um, but like I said, I wanted to just let you guys know that, it might be a little bit of a pause as I organize and bring more stuff in, and do more stuff. And yeah, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, whether it be, that I sort of jump on here and there, for a relaxing stream later at night or in the morning once in a while, like I do that too. I'll just jump on here and there, and just, chill and just play something relaxing for a little bit. And that's the point. Maybe, but more than likely, I a lot of times I'll probably just organize, get it done, so that way I can get back on here and start getting a regular set thing that we're doing, where you guys can count on me being here, being live by a certain time. Just at least one type of regular thing you guys can rely on. That's how I want to do this. I want to at least have one regular stream. Maybe like we'll show up here and there with like this or that, but I want to pick a game, because like that's why it's like for so long I wanted it to be Hearthstone. But it's like now we're at that point with that where we just have to treat that a certain way. So it's not going to be Hearthstone. It's probably going to be something like Hogwarts Legacy or Last Epoch. So like basically I just want to get to a point where you guys can count on me being on a stream, grinding away, like pretty much this day at this time he's going to be on Last Epoch or Hogwarts Legacy, and I can expect to see him there if I go on his channel at this time at this day. That's what I want to do, at least one, because I know I don't have typically a really consistent schedule for you guys. You just sort of see me pop in here and there, and you don't really know when you can catch me. It's sort of confusing. It's intended to confuse trolls, not people that legitimately want to watch the channel. Once again, we can't talk too much about that. I don't want to talk about that stuff anymore. So I just throwing that out there. It is to confuse them, not the regular viewers that want to actually watch and support the channel. So once again, I want to just have one, at least one. And if that goes smooth, for X amount of time, we'll see about another one. But once again, we have to first get that initial one. And right now, Hogwarts Legacy is looking like that one game where I could potentially have a lot of content that I like to put out. And that's really what I care about, is just, am I enjoying the content that I'm putting out? And are you guys enjoying it? And so that's really all I care about. And if not, then we move on to something else, or we switch formats and do it a little bit differently. That's it. That's all there is to it. Hogwarts Legacy is definitely that game. So, probably, try to start with that at least for now, and then, we'll talk about if it's shifting, migrating to a different game or what, but don't know what time of day yet, don't know what time, like what days specifically yet. I just know that, you know, that's what I'm thinking is Hogwarts Legacy. So, again, guys, I wasn't planning on being on here for like 3 hours, but it just, I sort of, you know, started talking about this and that, and we really get going, and that's why we want to do more campfire stories too. I want to do more of this, definitely. I think you all agree, right? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, Tyler, for coming through. Thank you, Night First Gaming, for coming through, for being here for quite a while. But thank you also, Tyler, for coming through too, and 365, also on his other channel too. Appreciate that. Thank you. And apparently he reacted. It was reacting to me. Thank you. That was really nice of you. Thank you. I just kicked my light. Thank you, 365. Appreciate you, and thank you for reacting, man. And I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, I can just get some organization in here, get some stuff done, and maybe we can relax to a game for a little bit. But I wouldn't necessarily count on it tonight. Yeah, we'll see. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.